Ladies and gentlemen, Democrats spent 4 years, media spent 4 years saying Trump's going after his direct political rivals. After they purchased a dossier, the DNC and Clinton purchased a dossier. Would never allow Republicans or McConnell or Trump to purchase a dossier on our beloved President Biden or any other Democrat, Clinton. They purchased a dossier against Trump. Complete and utter nonsense. Hearsay, gossip, fabricated. They then utilized the dossier within the United States government to set up and frame everyone around Trump. Then there was hearsay and gossip from an ambassador they utilized. Then there was a third-party tech firm that they outsourced to say that the Russians infiltrated the DNC to inform the country that Bernie Sanders was being cheated. Okay? Everything they get caught with when they get caught with their hands in the cookie jar or they get caught with their pants down. Oh my goodness, I know how that feels. Or anything they do that points to their own corruption. They then blame on Russia. It's Russia's fault. Russia infiltrated the DNC. They wanted you to know Bernie was cheated. And then they complain about Trump going after his direct political rivals because, oh my goodness, James Comey couldn't find intent with Clinton, who, by the way, had her attorneys delete 30,000 emails, almost certainly classified intelligence within those emails. We had classified intelligence on Uma Abedin's husband, Anthony Weiner's laptop. We have endless examples of possible crimes and likely crimes. Democrats said, gosh, we couldn't find any intent or any problems with Clinton's servers. And James Comey said, we couldn't find intent. And then a week before, because there was so much classified data and special access program intelligence on our servers, but classified data floating around right before the election, because the cover-up was not enough. They were too sloppy with their attempts at hiding information. So they found even more classified data. And a week before the election, Comey said, oh, yeah, we found something on Anthony Weiner's laptop, so we're going to have to look. And there's no problem there. And then later on, he said, oh, by the way, there was classified data there. Okay. They always... Then you have, of course, $10 billion, close to $10 billion raised for the people of Haiti, that the wonderful foundation linked to the Clintons, with organizations linked to the foundation, the Clinton Foundation. We can go on. There's endless examples of almost certain criminality. And they just sweep everything under the rug and then go after Trump. They found his taxes. They have his taxes for 2 months now. February 25th. Where's the holy grail of corruption? Where is it? Can you tell me where it is? What did he do? Did he give Putin money? Was there some kind of secret arrangement between Putin and Trump to buy Facebook ads? Where's the money trail? So they set up and framed Trump. They have his taxes. They found nothing. Now they're going after Rudy Giuliani. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. And the interesting thing is you have people like Rick Wilson of the Lincoln Project who disparaged... I mean, this man, the Lincoln Project is completely disgraced. Not only from everything they likely knew about their founder, who was accused of really horrendous things, criminal things, but you have people like Rick Wilson, who writes for the Daily Beast and other publications, Daily Beast, but he's now a good Republican, firmly on the side of justice and Democrats and liberals, and he went after Max Cleland for opposing George W. Bush's and Cheney's foreign policy and Rumsfeld's foreign policy. Max Cleland was a triple amputee Vietnam veteran. These are the types of people that the Democratic Party loves. Now they love these types of people, even though Democrats back then claimed to have been against Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld's foreign policy, despite the fact that Clinton and Kerry and Biden voted for Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld's foreign policy. So there you have it. The biggest hypocrites on the planet. But now, you have Lincoln Project people going after Vietnam veterans 20 years back, and now they're embedded because these Max Cleland and others opposed Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld's foreign policy. And now the same people who went after, in the most despicable manner, veterans, heroes, are now firmly embedded within the Democratic Party, and they're gleefully applauding prosecutors and investigators going after Rudy Giuliani. So Lincoln Project responds to Tucker Carlson's Rudy Giuliani raid tip-off claim. This is, okay, they say, oh my goodness, of course, Tucker Carlson is out of his mind. At the weekend, the Lincoln Project said, so this is an article by James Walker in Newsweek. Unbelievable. They claim to not know anything about the raid into Rudy Giuliani's apartment. Okay, so that's number one. The prosecutors have gone after Trump. The Southern District of New York is an extension of the Democratic Party. Republicans don't have this. Republicans have people like the Lincoln Project and Ben Sasse and Mitt Romney and Kinzinger, who, by the way, voted alongside Trump 90% of the time, and so did Liz Cheney. And so you have people who are the most duplicitous, disingenuous marketing executives. They're public relations executives. They vote alongside Trump, and then they say they claim to be against President Trump. It makes no sense. But here, if you look at the claim from, at the weekend, the Lincoln Project said it heard from sources that something big was going to happen on Wednesday. After the news broke of federal investigators raiding Giuliani's New York apartment yesterday, the campaign simply tweeted, "Told you." And then they say, oh my God, Tucker Carlson is making things up again. And it's like, if the tables were turned, you would say that Trump's administration is going after his direct political rivals. Biden's administration, or at least the Democratic Party in New York, is going after their direct political rivals. They don't have anything on Giuliani. Everything you hear on Giuliani is, well, we're investigating whether he broke laws. That's another way of tormenting somebody. It doesn't take much to find out if somebody broke a law. It doesn't take months and months of investigation or years of investigation. They've had Trump's tax returns for 2 months now. This was supposed to be the Holy Grail. This was supposed to be the epicenter of Trump corruption. Where's the grandiose criminal act? Where is it? They've been investigating Rudy Giuliani for over a year now, because he had the audacity to help President Trump. Well, you had attorneys purchase the Steele dossier for Clinton and the DNC. Did those attorneys break any lobbying laws? You have attorneys who deleted possibly classified intelligence, linked to Clinton, of course. Did those attorneys break any laws? You better believe Democrats do not care about anyone associated with them. Now, it's like, people don't get, I voted for President Trump because he's not really a Republican. The Republican Party and the Democratic Party are two sides of the same coin if you look at the never-Trumpers. You have the Lincoln Project people who have blood on their hands, and that's not a hyperbole. That's not hyperbole. It's you look at, they pushed for every intervention we've had, every military intervention we've had for the past 20 years. And you had some people associated with them that pushed for President Obama's failed Libya intervention. They pushed for Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld's never-ending military quagmires and counterinsurgency conflicts. It was President Trump on May 1st, 2021, a couple days from now, tomorrow, or 2 days from now. It was President Trump that signed the deal to get us out of America's longest-running military intervention. Now, Biden, our beloved President Biden, did actually a great thing. I tip my hat to Biden for this. He recognized the Armenian genocide, which is fantastic, and what he should have done, what President Trump should have done, and what President Obama should have done, and what Reagan should have done. But he was able to do that, in my view, in large part because President Trump removed our presence, really, did everything humanly possible to get us out of that region of the world, which lessened the influence of Turkey upon our national security or foreign policy concerns. So, I don't think Biden is able to do that, which I tip my hat to him. He did a great thing without President Trump. It was President Trump that removed our not only our presence from the region in numerous countries, but negotiated a deal to get us out of that region of the world. Now, I have no clue why Biden prolonged. He says in September we'll get out. But it was Trump that was able to do all these things. All they've done is try to investigate him and cover up the actual crimes that they've committed. Okay, Clinton's server is the biggest scandal it's infinitely more, it's a much greater scandal than Watergate ever was. Trump-Russia was fabricated. He never worked with Russia to influence 2016. Then they complained that the Arizona recount and Trump and all that. It's like, well, you spent 4 years propping up myths and legends and nonsense based on high to moderate confidence. Now they're going after Rudy Giuliani, just like they went after Michael Flynn and others, because they have Mitt Romney silent, they have Ben Sass, they have Never Trumpers, they have pretty much every social media algorithm, media in general, Washington Post, New York Times. So we'll see what happens. They're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna find anything on Giuliani because he didn't do anything wrong. But stay tuned. Give me your thoughts below. And then, of course, they have the raid. Notice how they never raid Democratic politicians or Democratic lawyers. Isn't that interesting? Even though these people are linked to scandals that are much greater than anything linked to Trump or Giuliani. But you won't hear that in the news because everything is Trump could have done something. Meanwhile, it's Clinton didn't have. She didn't really mean to have servers for 4 years with top secret intelligence, literally outside of the United States government. I mean, that's just one example. That's just one scandal. Hunter Biden is another, where he's now giving lectures and out there. It's like they live in their own fantasy world, and then they say Republicans or conservatives or Trump supporters live in a fantasy world. It's like nobody trusts media. The reason nobody trusts media is because media gives one side of the story, and Americans generally, of all backgrounds, everywhere on the planet, everywhere in the country, are smart enough to realize that media has one specific objective, which is to prop up the Democratic Party. That's the objective of media. It's not truth. Okay, that's the objective of Hollywood. Hollywood is there to not only to make money and to prop up the Democratic Party, but to pretend it's morally superior when it's the epicenter of immorality. Give me your thoughts. That's just a side thought. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. They're going after the direct political opponents, which is exactly what they said Trump was doing, which is what he didn't do. Trump being unfairly targeted and then going after the people who try to torment him is not going after his direct political rivals. These people are still going after... They're still going after Giuliani and everyone associated with Trump, and it's like the media's silent. They're like taking a victory lap, and Republicans are just silent also. It's really interesting. President Trump at least fights, Jim Jordan, Richard Grenell, Rand Paul. These people fight. That's a good thing. Giuliani fights too. I don't think they're going to, it's interesting. Giuliani took on criminal organizations. I don't think he'll have a problem taking on the Democratic Party from here on out. Give me your thoughts.